Hello class. Today we are going to learn how to design a grid connected rooftop system through PVC software. We have already in the previous part we have already learned how to basically do the system designing, what are the major components, how to get the specifications, amperage or the rating of the major components, how to create a bill of material and ultimately arrive to the costing. So we have already understood how we need to take the inputs. So today we are going to start to do the designing of the same through PVC software. So before going into the PVC software, let us first learn how we can basically download the PVC software. So in the Google you can write PVSys download, and in the first option, that is www.pvsys.com, download PVSys option, you can click on the link, right? So once you click on the link, it will open to this page where they will show you the installation requirement. That is what is the basic installation requirement you need in your computer. You have a free trial of 1 month, and after that, if you need to use the uh, paid version. So you need to buy the same, right? So computer configuration for operating system, you can use Windows 7 or any Windows system for the same, and it can be even Windows 8, so you can use any Windows system for the same. Other requirement is 1 GB of RAM, 1 GB of at least free hard drive space is required. Screen resolution should be 1280 into 720 megapixel, right? And if you don't have net 4.8 framework, once you are going to start Meteonum or PVSys, they are going to ask you to download the same, so it can be easily downloaded, right? So if you scroll down, you can see you have the latest version PVSys 7.2. So once you click on this, it will start downloading, right? But if you scroll down more, you can see the older version of PVSys which you can download. So if you click on this download PVSys option, it will ultimately ask you to allow, and once you allow it, it will start downloading, right? After downloading, you can do the installation in your computer for the PVCs. Remember, it is free for only 1 month, so it's a 1 month free trial. So by this you can use three different functions to practice for 3 different months. Okay, so let's start about the designing of grid connected system in. Okay, class. So what we have done till now is we have learned what are the exact requirements, what are the exact inputs we need for a PVC system design. We have already learned what are the different types of PVC, like, different types of systems, configurations, the solar configurations, and ultimately we have learned the BOM and a system manual designing of a grid connected solar PV plant. Now we will be taking the same inputs, the same design parameters, and would design the same thing in our PVC software, and we would check what is the report we are getting, right? So let's start. First, as we have already learned, we need to check the what is the outline. First, we need to have the checklist of the required information from client, right? Next is we need to take the geographical locations, that is the latitude, that is the longitude and the altitude. We need to take the data, meteo data. We can take it from the website or NASA site. We will learn how, and ultimately we can put the data from our side too if you want. Next is the system design, and last is the input parameters and the relevancy, how we are putting it, how we would like set up the tilt angle and the azimuth, how we are going to select the different parameters, how we are going to check the losses, which is the main thing. And lastly, we have this, we will find the simulation result and we will put it, we will see how we can interpret the result. Okay, so it's basically about the software. This is basically one of the oldest designing software of solar. This was developed by University of Geneva and it's a Swiss software. Okay, so it is mainly used for collecting meteorological it has all the database of all types of systems like modules and inverters. It have all database of more or less every place in the world, and we can import it from any website like Solar GIS, Meteonom, NASA, etc. We can import the data from there for using in our calculation. We can create an import PV module and inverter from our side if we want to by using the data sheet, or we can check from any of the available data sheets, right? If we have a 3D analysis, like once we are done with the CAD, we can put the CAD and also get a 3D analysis that I will show you how. Fine. So let us open the software first before going to the next part. I hope everyone has already installed PVSys. So this is our software. When we click it, the PVSys software will open. Let us wait. Let the software open. Once we click it, this is how our software first page will open. Okay. In this page, you can see we have 4 options. First is the database. First is basically preliminary design. If we choose this option, it will show us a design parameters of 3 types. What is grid connected, which we are doing now, standalone or off-grid system we will be doing tomorrow, and pumping. We can do solar pump design here, which is not in our syllabus. We are not going to cover that. But this is a very basic design, a preliminary design. It is only done just for a normal check for a company. It is not a project design. We are going to learn the project design. From project design, you can see there are 4 designs we can do through a project design. One is grid connected, one is standalone or off grid, one is DC pumping, and another thing that we can do is DC grid, which is called as a microgrid. Okay. So here in this our course we will be covering grid connected and standalone. For the rest 2, it comes under the advanced PVSys course. The DC pumping and the microgrid comes under the advanced PVSys course, right? So today we are going to learn grid connected design and tomorrow standalone design. The next parameter is database. If you click the database, you can see once we click the database, this database page will open up. You can also do the same in your software, in your system. Okay, you can open the PVSys, you can also practice with me so that these points are clarified to you. In the Meteor database, you can see we have the first geographical sites, all the sites, we have synthetic data, we have Meteor data. If you want to compare we have to compare data from 2 websites. We can do it by using compare data. If you want to import any Meteor data from a CSV file, we can do it. If you want to import data from an ASCII file, also we can do it. Okay. On the right hand side, you can see it has all the component database, that is PV modules. If you want to import any database here, you can ask for the PAN file I've already mentioned. We have database for grid inverters, we have database for batteries, we have database for controllers, charge controllers for standalone system we will be discussing tomorrow. And the other 4s are not for our part, but we can say we have database for generator, pump, controllers for pumping system, that is VFD, variable frequency drive controllers. And lastly, if you want to put manufacturer retailer's name, we can also put it here. So this is basically the database. Okay, so let's start a project design. First, click on the project design. Once we click on the project design, as we said, we will see 4 options. Today we are going to learn grid connected solar design. Once we click on the grid connected solar design, we will come to this page. Okay, everyone, try it. Once we click on it, we will come to this page. Now, First question, checklist from client. So we need to have the checklist from the client. So if we're talking about the checklist for the client, we need to check the location, that is latitude and longitude, or we can put the address directly. If we don't have anything, we can put the pin code. If we don't have anything, if we wish, we can put the pin code, right? Next is the technical details. What type of system we are designing, on grid or off grid? Today we will be doing on grid, tomorrow off grid. What type of module technology we are taking, and what is the capacity? You can ask this from client, or if we want to do design, we can do it design ourselves. Next is the inverter. What is the make, capacity and type of inverter? That is a 3-phase inverter or single phase inverter. This is only what we need to take as an input, right? So these are the basic inputs that we need to take. So the first thing we need to take is the location. So let's check how we can see a location. Going to the PVSys app. For checking a location, we can click on the Meteo database. That's on the right hand side. We can click on the Meteo database. After the Meteo database, we can click on the geographical sites. Once we click on the geographical sites, a page will come. It will have more or less all the places there. So if you want to check for any place, you can get the same. Okay. So let's take a common place. Let us check for Asia. From the drop down, we can select the continent. So we are selecting Asia here. And from Asia, we are taking a school. Let's say I am taking the third one. It might not be there in your database, because it depends upon the what database you have stored. I have stored this database. So what we are taking Ahmedabad. Chalo. Ahmedabad will be there for everyone. Your third option will be Ahmedabad city for India. We are taking Ahmedabad. Once we click on Ahmedabad, this coordinate will open up, right? So we are taking the Meteo database of Ahmedabad for doing this design. We are clicking on the Ahmedabad, and you can see this is the city of Ahmedabad has already opened up. Let the Ahmedabad, like the city of Ahmedabad data load. We have already clicked it. We are waiting to load for the data. Now you can see that the data sheet has opened. So here you can see three things. One is latitude. From the geographical coordinates, you will find the latitude. You will find the longitude. If you wish, you can put it. You can put the latitude and the longitude yourself. And last is the altitude, right? If you click on the sun path, here there is another called as sun path. If you click on the sun path, you can see what is the sun path, like how many hours we can see the daylight in this case, right? This is the sun path diagram. We can, if you require, you can put it in your detailed feasibility report. If we want to put the sun path, this is the sun path. We have another option in the box, which is the import option. Like if we want to import any data, you can import the data from two. One is Meteonom, one is from NASA. You can select any one and you can click on import data. So once you put import data, sun path diagram, we will explain once we go to the analysis part. So in the import data, whenever clicking the import data, you will be finding an option will ask you that so he can import or overwrite the present data or not. You will need to click on yes. Yes will ensure that you can overwrite the old data and you can import the latest data from NASA website, right? So it is going to find for the latest data. and open up the latest data. From where we'll find the monthly generation data, like the global irradiance, the diffuse, the temperature, wind velocity. This all generation data is going to open. It has already opened it, right? So I can take the data. You can see on the right hand side down part, it has the different radiation units. You can take it in kilowatt hour per meter per day. You can take it as kilowatt hour per meter per month, whatever you want to take. I am taking it as kilowatt hour per meter square per day. I am clicking at OK to save the data in my database. Once I will click OK, it will give me another box to save the data in my geographical site file, so that I can take it from the file and can save it, and I am saving it. Okay, once I have saved the data, it will come back to the component choice page or the geographical site page, the previous page. That once I save the data, it will come to the previous page from where I have selected Ahmedabad, right? And it will show me another new site, that is Ahmedabad MN, that is Metronome site. We have selected the data from the Metronome site, so it will rename as a Metronome site. Let it come to that page. Okay, so let's come to the page. You can see below your Ahmedabad another data has come, which is your Ahmedabad MN data, that is Ahmedabad data from the Metronome. We have taken the Ahmedabad data from the Metronome part, right? We are now selecting this Ahmedabad as our site and exporting it. If you need the data, you can export it and save it, right? So we are selecting the Ahmedabad data and closing it. So it will come to our first page where we have selected the data. So now from the site file, we can click on the file option if you wish, or you can click on the search option. From search option, you can check anything. You can find out the Ahmedabad part. Let us find the Ahmedabad data from here, the Ahmedabad, and click on OK. Once we click on the search file, we'll find all the data. So if we are talking about Ahmedabad, we'll select on Ahmedabad and click on OK. Automatically, whenever taking on OK, you can see Ahmedabad data. After clicking on OK, you can see that Ahmedabad data is coming, right? So the Ahmedabad data is coming on your page whenever you are selecting the Ahmedabad data and clicking on OK. Now we can save the file name. You can see above a file name is given .prg. You can save it by your name. We are putting it as PVSYST and today's date as 23/04/20. This is my project name, right? The file name and project name, whatever you want to take. I am taking it as it's Ahmedabad school project. So first, one thing you need to remember, that first you need to save the file to start it, right? We need to save the file to start it. So we need to rename the file name, and ultimately we need to rename Ahmedabad and click on save, the save button, and let this Metronome and data save itself. Once we click on the save button, it will give us as save project as. We can choose our name as we have selected as Ahmedabad School Project, and we are saving it. Okay. Once we will save it, we will click on yes. You can see that it will be showing. You can go for the simulation. It will be showing simulation done. It's a green box that will allow you to go simulation. Till that it will be remaining yellow. It won't allow you or open any other option to do any simulation. Clear? Once we save it, it will allow us to do the simulation. Fine. Let us now click to orientation. First we need to do the orientation part, right? So let us now click to the, we are going to go to the left hand side. We are going to see there are three options: orientation, system and detail losses. These three we need to do. So first let us start with orientation. Click on orientation. From here, once you click on orientation, orientation box will open up. Fine. So once this orientation box will open up, you can see that you will be having three options for the orientation. Let it open up, then we'll discuss. We have three options on the left hand side. One is plane tilt, which is nothing but the tilt angle. Okay. You can take the latitude of that place and can add 15 for winter and minus 15 for summer to put the tilt angle. Next is the azimuth. As in this case we have taken the tilt as 23 and we are considering it's a summer. So 23 minus 15 will give us 8. We are putting 8 as the tilt. Okay. And azimuth, we have considered azimuth as 25. So we are considering azimuth as 25. Clear? What is number of shades? Number of shades means number of rows. Number of rows of modules we are going to put on the roof. That we need to take from the module layout. Let us we are taking 2 roofs for the design. Right, it is the number of roofs we can put on the roof. So in this case we are taking 2 roofs. For example, I'm just showing it on the diagram so it will be easier for you to understand. In this case, what we are doing is that let's say this is my roof. This is a side view of a roof. This is my roof. We would be putting 2 rows of panel, right? And if this is my top view, we are putting in this way 1 row of 15 modules and we are putting second row of 15 modules. This is called as the number of shades. From here we can see we have 1 shade, 2 shades. So we are going to take 2 shades. If we have multiple rows, we can take multiple number of shades. So if you have 3 rows, we can take number of shades as 3. Fine? Okay, so here we are taking 2 shades, so we are putting it as 2. The value is at from 2. The plane tilt angle. This is basically the tilt angle. We have the latitude. We have considered the latitude for the place as 23. For summer, it would be latitude minus 15. For winter, it would be latitude plus 15. We are considering this summer, we are considering a latitude of 23. So plane tilt will be 23 minus 15 as 8. Now pitch. What does the word pitch means? Pitch is the difference between these two, or the difference between the two rows. This is called as pitch. This is called as pitch. That is the difference between two rows of solar modules is called as pitch. Clear? You can see it in the paint diagram. Next, there are two more parameters you can see here. One is collateral bandwidth, one is top inactive bandwidth, bottom inactive bandwidth. What we do is that top inactive bandwidth, bottom inactive bandwidth is always taken as 0.02 meter. But on the other hand, what is the collateral bandwidth? This is how a module looks like, right? So generally it's 1 meter, and generally it is 1.96 meter for a 335 watt peak module. This is our collateral bandwidth. The collateral bandwidth is nothing but it's the length of the module we are choosing. You will get it from your data sheets. In data sheets there is something called as dimension. So you will get it from the dimension of the data sheet. Let me show you where. In this data sheets of Adani, let us check. Look, from here you can see the length of from the mechanical data sheet of the Adani module. You can see the length as 19.98 and the width as 1010. So 19.98 is 1.99. So in this case it will be 1.99. Clear? This is the basically the length is our collateral band width that we need to take in the orientation part of a PVC's design. Generally we take, there is an aluminum frame on this side and this side of the module. There is aluminum frame on all the circumference of the module. That aluminum frame is taken as 0.02 meter, which is the top bandwidth, and the side bandwidth, the bottom bandwidth we take. Okay, that is the bandwidth we generally take for this is for the shadow calculation. If you do the orientation wrongly, you will have the shadow calculation wrong. Okay, so once we are doing it, you can click on the shading graph. It will again show you the sun path. Sun path, as Vinodji has asked, sun path is Chandraji has asked. Sun path is nothing but it shows what is the angle that the sun is going to cover. If you see it, you can see that if I put the panel at 0 azimuth, the x-axis is the azimuth and the y-axis is the sunlight falling at a degree. So if I take, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lines are given and 7 dates are given. 22 June, 22 May, and so on and so forth. If I take the fourth one, for example, fourth one is 20 March to 23rd September, right? So 20 March to 23rd September, generally the sun keeps an angle of 60 degree and 60 degree for azimuth of 0. If we are going for azimuth of minus 30, we can plot the same and we can find what is the angle the sun is keeping. This will help us to understand the shading. As we are taking tilt on just basis of our latitude, this sun path will be automatically integrated in the software and will give you the general data. Fine. So once we are doing it, we are going to click on OK. But in the above, you can see there are multiple field types that is showing. So if I click on the drop down box of the field type, it will show you the type of module mounting you want to take, that we are discussing. You want to take unlimited shade, you want to take one axis, you want to take tracking or not, whether you want to take one axis tracking, whether you want to take two axis tracking. Once we click on the drop down menu, you can see it will allow you to give fixed, the first two options,
1 axis tracking, the next 4 options, 2 axis tracking, the last 3 options. Okay. If we want to design a ground mounted plant with an automated tracking system, obviously we can do it. For your home purpose, for your practice purpose, what you can do is that you can go ahead and do the design in this way, that you can go ahead and do the design by putting it fixed and putting it with the axis. You can see when you are putting it with the axis tracking, you automatically your generation, total generation at the end of the report would increase. In this case, we will do without tracking. So once our orientation parameters are fixed, everything is done, what we are going to do is that we are going to click on OK to save the orientation. Eh? So once we click on OK to save the orientation, uh, we will, the next option that we are going to do is will be system. The next option, system, is where we choose modules and inverters. So let's click on system. First, what is the number of sub arrays? Sub arrays means how many arrays we are choosing in this case, right? So we are choosing number of arrays as sub arrays. Subarray 1 and subarray 2. Once we are checking subarrays, 2 arrays we are choosing, we will be finding 2 options. One as subarray 1 and one will be as subarray 2. So first let's design subarray 1. Subarray 1, as you have 2 arrays, obviously you will divide a 10 kilowatt peak plant in 2 halves. One would be with 5 kilowatt peak and the other would be with another 5 kilowatt peak, right? So automatically you will enter the planned power as 5 kilowatt peak for subarray 1 and 5 kilowatt peak for subarray 2. So let's first do subarray 1. Subarray 1 we are taking as, we can either choose the area or the planned power. Here as power is fixed, we are going to choose planned power as 5 kilowatt peak. Now you can see, select the PV module. You have multiple PV modules available till now from 2002, 2003. There are various PV modules. So as we know, we have selected Adani from the drop down box. You might not have Adani, you might have other options. In my case, already Adani is integrated, so we have Adani module. You can ask for the .pan file of Adani and you can do it yourself. I will be sending you the pan file of Adani. I will request Arijit to send you the pan file of Adani. So this is Adani, and from Adani, once we click, we have only one option, that is 325. Like the Adani pan file I don't have for 335. I have for 325 watt peak module. So we will first divide 10,000 divided by 325. From here we can see 30.76. So we will be using 31 modules. Please remember, in this design we are using 31 modules, not 30. As we have 325 instead of 335. So we just need to select the brand of the module and watt peak of the module. Once it is done, if you want to check, you can click on the open part that is just beside the watt peak of the module. I'm clicking on the open part. Let it open. This open is nothing, but it will show you the data sheet only. The data that we are using, like where we will be seeing in the data sheet, right? This is the, you can see from here, there are things that we have asked for: short circuit current, open circuit voltage, maximum power point, that is the IMP, the maximum power current, and the maximum power voltage. This is exactly what we require for the design. If you want, you can put it yourself. If you don't want, you can leave it. From here you can see another the reference conditions that we were speaking about. The reference conditions should be 1000 watt per meter square and the reference temperature would be 25 degrees. So while putting the data, you need to put these two references always, because the data sheet is always with these two references. Fine. So if we wish, we can even check the parameters too. And also we can check without, it might be a old data, so VOC might change a little bit, or ISC might change a little bit. So it's better to check the data VOC, VSC, and ultimately match it with the data sheet we are getting from the manufacturer, just to ensure that your design is absolutely without any flaw. Okay, so once we are done with this, the next part that we are going to design would be selection of inverter. Okay, so let's go to the selection of inverter. If you have to take a 330 watt peak, you can put the data yourself. Like you, in the open button, there is an option that you can change the data from 325 to 330, or you can ask for the .pan file from your manufacturer. You can ask, please send us a pan file for 330 watt peak. Your manufacturer will send you, you can directly input it in the database. If not, you can change the values here too. As we are now we need to remember that we have taken only one inverter, right? We have taken one inverter, not two. So in this case, we are going to go for power 1. We need to select power 1, and we need to select the 10 kilowatt peak inverter. Okay, let us check by clicking on the open. Here the same thing, the minimum MPP voltage, the maximum MPP voltage will be given here. Okay, this is the voltage, this is exactly what we require. On the right hand side, once we click on the open, we'll see the input on the left hand side and the output on the right hand side. In input, we can change the two parameters. We can click it here if you want. You can change it to any input voltage you want. Okay, now on the right hand side, you can see there are output. We have two things we require. What is the nominal power we are getting at the output, and what is the voltage we'll be getting at the output, and what is the current. You can see only that parameters that they have already considered, right? If you wish, you can change the data from here and save it also. If you want to do for any other if you have a 10 kilowatt peak data and you want to use for 12 kilowatt peak, which is not there in the database, you can change the values from here itself. Okay, in this case, we are putting 5 kilowatt in 1 MPPT, so the number of MPPT used would be 1. You can see that just below the inverter it is showing the number of MPPT should be used here should be 1. The last part is the design of the array. If we select it in our way, we need not to do any design from our side. It will automatically take the modules in series and the number of strings. One string of 16 modules. Why 16? Here we are using 31. So one string will be of 16, one will be of 15. We can automatically check. If we go for sub array 2, it will have 15 numbers. Here we can see that the module in series in the third part, design of array, it is showing as 16 and the number of string as 1. Whereas if I go ahead and click on sub array 2, you can see in the sub array 2, it is showing automatically as 15 instead of 16. So we need not to do anything from our side. If we select the module and the inverter correctly, what we are doing is that we have already taken 2 sub arrays, right? If we are dividing into 2 MPPTs, your inverter doesn't have 4 MPPTs. So if you're dividing 2 sub arrays with 2 MPPTs, your number of inputs would be 4. Your inverter doesn't have 4 MPPTs. So in this case, we have 2 sub arrays. That's why we are taking 1 MPPT. If we take a single array or a single sub array, then we can take it directly. Okay, so if we have 335 watt peak, we would have done the design in a single array. Why? If the number of modules are matching in both the strings, then we have no problem. There is no circulating current. But if the number of strings mismatches, we are putting 2 inputs in AGB, right? There should be circulating current. So the design should be in 2 separate sub array, not in a single sub array. Okay, so once the design is done, we just need to click on OK. Last is the detailed losses, where you need not to do anything from your side, but even if you want to do, just click on the detailed losses. There are few things that is given. It is already parameter set, but we just can discuss the detailed losses. First, thermal parameter, that is, as we have said, as the heat would increase and the wind velocity varies, the automatically the performance would vary. This is the constant factor that is being set. If your manufacturer wants it or your customer wants it to be changed, then only change. Ohmic loss, you can see here the cable length we were discussing, right? From here you can see that the length of cable, the DC cable requires automatically will come once you click on ohmic losses. It will give you what is the exact square mm of cable you require. If we select 6 square mm, 103 meters would require. Let's change it. Let us click on 4 square mm. And you can see the exact length that you require for the module interconnection till your inverter will be shown. In this case, 103 meters are shown. Fine. The next comes as a module quality or LID mismatch. Generally, the LID loss factor, that is a light induced degradation loss factor. Generally, we have a degradation in our modules, right? So the general degradation is kept as 2%. It's a general calculation. As I am again saying, you need not to do any changes here. It's just for discussing. LID factor is 2%. The next is soiling loss. Soiling loss is a factor which depends. It is basically depend upon how dusty the area is. For example, if you are doing a design in a desert, obviously the soiling loss would be more. So you need to ask your customer what is the yearly soiling loss factor in that area. If you are doing it for a normal industry, ash industry, the soiling loss would be more. If you are doing it for a normal industry, 3% is more than enough. The soiling loss parameter is generally kept as 3%, is more than enough. Fine. Next is IAM losses. This is nothing but the incidence angle modifier. You just, as you have already selected the IV curve, it will take it from their end only. You need not to do anything for the same. Aging loss, same, it will take it from your IV curve. It will already take it from your IV curve, the aging parameter, and it contains mismatch calculation and the module warranty. Like you know that generally a manufacturer gives a module warranty of 25 years, in which he tells that for the 0 to 10 year it will come down to 90% of its performance, and from 11th to 25th year it will come to a performance of 80%. So if we click on the module warranty, you can see the same thing is written in the module warranty. It generally takes the same from the database, so we need not to do anything from our side. But yes, if you want to change the warranty, you are giving customer more warranty, you can change it, because it will come automatically to your cost factor, so you can change it if you want to. And lastly, the unavailability. Generally 1% unavailability is taken, because it's not possible, it's a electrical machine, so it will have losses one day or the other. So 1% unavailability is always considered. So once all these 3 parameters are done, we can go ahead and run the simulation to check what is the exact report we are coming. So let us come and click on the run simulation. Once we click on run simulation, it will complete the whole simulation and it will give you the report. So let us click on the run simulation. You can see that the simulation is running and it has completed the simulation, right? So once the simulation is completed, we can click on continue, and ultimately we can click on OK. OK will ask you to save it with the name that you have. So we are saving it. We are saving the file or the PVC's file in the name. Whenever we are clicking on OK, it will ask us to save the file. So we are saving the file as Ahmedabad project. We are renaming it as Ahmedabad project and clicking as save new. Once you click on the same, you will see, once you have saved this thing, you can see that there are two things that has opened up. That is, one is the report. Let us click on the report. This is the report that we generally generate. From here you can see it contains our name, the latitude, the longitude, and ultimately the name of the project, right? Next we have the tilt angle, the azimuth, everything is mentioned here. What modules we have chosen, what inverter I have chosen, what is the sub-array division that we have chosen, the 16 modules. You can see it in the first page. It contains the basic information. The first page contains the basic information of the plant design we have made, the first and the second page, right? Second page contains the losses part. The first page, the basic information, there is a module integration, the system design, the name of the site, the tilt angle, horizon and all. And the next page will contain the loss parameters that we have basically considered here, right? Third parameter will give you, the third page will give you the production, that is a kilowatt peak generation per month, and the plant performance ratio PR for the plant. Okay, so it will give you the generation per month for in the third page, which is basically required. We are claiming the customer what you are getting. You can see in the main simulation result, it is showing that we are getting 15.83 megawatt per year, right? And the last page will just show you the same thing by division. That is, it will show you a flow chart. First, what is the irradiation hitting on the solar panel? That is 1947, and what we are getting at the end of the day, that is 1583. And what are the losses that this particular system is facing? From the above, you can see the fourth parameter is the soiling loss that we have seen. If the soiling loss is more in case of a ash plant or desert, the generation would automatically increase. If the soiling loss is 1%, the generation will automatically increase. So you can change the soiling loss, and you can see in the next parameter, let's just do it for ourselves. We have got 15.83 with the soiling loss of 1%, right? We are closing it. We are going to the detailed loss to change the soiling loss parameter, right? We are closing it. We will be changing the soiling loss. So we are changing the soiling loss as 1%. We are going to the detailed loss, and we are changing the soiling loss as 1%, right? Clicking on OK. As soon as you click on OK, you can see the report has vanished. So because you have given a new simulation parameter. So we need to again run simulation. And let the simulation complete. OK, we will save it as before. And once we save it, the report parameter will automatically generate like the previous one. Now let us go to the report and check what difference has come. We will open the report and we will go to the fourth page. You can obviously see when I have opened the report, I went to the fourth place from 1583. By changing the soiling loss factor as 1%, we are coming to 16.13. So we have got an increase of 40 or 4000 kilowatt generation, a 4000 unit generation for a 10 kilowatt peak plant in the whole year. Okay, so in this way we can do changes in our so losses and all, and we can get the results. Let us check the other parameters. It is closed. Once we close, we like just after the report there is another tab called detailed result. If you click on the detailed result, it will give you the exact graphs which you require, the economic evaluation, the graph. There, if you click on economic evaluation, you can see that it will allow you to put all the rates. Like we have taken the rates of a PV modules, you can put it. You can take the rates of a support is nothing but structure, you can put it. You have taken the rates of inverter, you can put it. You can take the rates of cables, you can put it. But you can change the currency too. You can see on the right hand side the currency is taken as euro. If you want, you can check as India. So let's go to India. Yeah. So you can, once I click on select on India, you will see that all the euros have already been changed to India, right? So from here, if you want, you can go ahead and find the costing and also check how many years it will take to do the ROI. Clear? You can do the same in this option called economic evaluation. If you click on the economic evaluation option, you can do the same. There is another option in the BPC called economic evaluation. From there also you can do the same, or you can do it from the details result also. Fine guys. If you guys have any question, you can ask me.
How to do the grid connected rooftop design in through the PVC software, how we can go ahead and generate the report which can be used in detailed report making purpose, or DPR, detailed project report making purpose, right? And it also gives a simulation idea that if you are taking any order from a customer and if you are guaranteeing them that this is the amount of generation they are going to get, so it's a simulation software which will basically give us a forecast what is the generation we can expect in the next period of time. It can be 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, depending upon. So how we can go ahead and basically do the simulation. So in the next class we are going to learn the off-grid system, how we basically do the designing of off-grid system with this BOM, and after that we will learn the PVC design of off-grid system using the same software. Okay guys, so thank you for today, and for our efforts we would like you to like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon for further updates. We will provide you regular updates on this solar for the basic training and the designing course till 15th of January 2022, right? And we would like you to share this to most of your friends, colleagues, so that more people can be benefited from this video. Thank you.